It's I've definitely sat right where you're sitting toward the end of the football season, wondering what's going to come next. And I know for a lot of y'all, that's the main question on your minds, right? What's next after football? It's always interesting being the guy who graduated in 2007, back speaking to people who are in y'all's position because you feel so old. But then you kind of look around and you realize you're still not the oldest person in the room. It makes you feel young still. I graduated in 2007, and our football season was a very frustrating football season. We won and we lost a game all year. Do y'all know what that feels like to win and lose a game all year? It's almost worse than losing 2 consecutive games, because what happens is you win one, you go in riding high, and then you get the brakes beat off of you the next game. And that happened game after game, win, loss, even in the playoffs. And it was funny, as I was driving in here, the weather brought back so many memories. This time last year, we were getting ready, and it was about 30 degrees, it was sleeting, and Coach Sims, who at that time was the running back coach, knew how to get underneath our skin and make us forget about everything else and just focus on what we needed to do to get the job done. So it's about 30 degrees outside, it's sleeting, and all of us, we had our sweaters on underneath our pads, we had our leggings on, and everybody was just focused on trying to stay warm and not get wet. So the first thing that Coach Sims decides he wants to do is we go out there and we're getting ready for practice, and the running backs always had it worse than everybody else with Coach Sims. How many of y'all know Coach Sims, by the way? All right, so y'all know how, there were times when you wanted to, pick up the nearest weight and hit him with it. But you can't help but have a lot of respect for the guy. And don't tell him I said that either, please. But anyway, Coach Sims, he brings us out to practice. He can tell that we're cold, we're shivering. So the first thing Coach Sims does is he makes us line up on the goal line, run 5 yards, and then slide on the turf. Just so we get it out of our heads that we're going to somehow stay dry throughout the rest of the practice. So then all we have to focus on is actually going out, getting as many reps as we can, and focusing on what we need to focus on, so we can go out and execute on game day. Y'all are in an interesting position, and I'm in an interesting position right now, standing where I am, because the cool thing about it is I get to take every lesson that I've ever learned in my life and try to, communicate that with you guys to get y'all to understand that there are some things that I hope you take away from this interaction that you apply to your lives. And I'm not saying take it all, because I hope that you take some of it with a grain of salt. But I promise y'all, I'm not the kind of person to give you advice if I didn't mean it, and if it's not something that I've applied in my own personal life. All right? So tomorrow, y'all are playing Odessa High. Y'all plan on beating Odessa High?
Sure.
Man, y'all don't sound like y'all plan on beating Odessa High. Honestly, do y'all think y'all are going to beat Odessa High tomorrow?
Sure.
I'm going to tell you what. Football is a game, and y'all heard this before, right? 90% mental, 10% physical. Y'all know what that means? That means that you get to decide each play what you're going to do each play. As a wide receiver, you get to decide whether or not you're going to make sure you catch that ball and look it in, try to get 5 yards even after contact. If you're the running back, you get to make sure that the first guy that makes contact with you doesn't bring you down. If you're on defense, if you're playing corner, you're making sure that you're pressing that receiver as hard as you can. Make him work for every single yard that he has, that he's trying to get coming off that line of scrimmage. If you're a linebacker, y'all's job is simple. You just try to hit him as hard as you possibly can. Lay the wood, in other words. But that's all decisions that you guys get to make, each play. And there are things that you're going to learn in football that are going to apply to your lives long after football is done with. Because the reality is, football ends. And I don't know what the traditional ceremony is anymore, but whenever I was in high school, we used to sit around at the end of the season, licking our wounds, watching this cleat burn, and thinking about all the things that we could have done differently. The thing about that is that the only thing that y'all have in your control is what you choose to do day in, day out, each play that you have. Outside of that, there's not much that y'all can control, right? Making sure that each play, y'all are fighting for each other, fighting for the team, and making sure that at the end of the day, y'all know y'all did everything you possibly could to put the team in the best position to come out with a win. But the fact of the matter is, guys, for a lot of you seniors, You're never going to lace these the cleats up again. You're never going to get the ball. You're never going to catch the ball again. You're never going to run with it again. You're never going to score another touchdown. You're not going to get to congratulate your teammates on a job well done anymore. I mean, this is it. And after this, you got to think about what is there. For me, whenever I was a senior, the only thing that mattered to me was getting a scholarship, having this incredible season, being remembered. And how many of y'all even know what position I played? Running back. How many of y'all know how many yards I rushed for? How many touchdowns did I score? Do y'all even know where I went to college after I left Millen High? That's what I'm talking about. At the end of the day, guys, football is still a game, but it's the things that you learn in football that you're going to be able to apply to your life long after football's gone. And the beautiful thing that you get to create in the time that you have is memories that are going to last a lifetime. Most people don't even know this. I did get a scholarship whenever I graduated. I never played a single down of college football. I thought my life was over with. But the fact of the matter is life goes on. But I'll tell you, the thing that I learned most, that I took away from football, was the lessons that these coaches work overtime to instill in you guys, because they recognize that it's not just a game. You guys are young men that are going to go out and have families, you're going to have jobs, life is going to get a heck of a lot more complicated, and you're going to have to figure out the best way to navigate that. The thing about that is, and the thing that football teaches you, is that you have the skills to do it, because if there's nothing else, you have the power to wake up each day deciding what you're going to do with each day, with each hour in each day that you have. But it's completely up to you. Nobody can convince you guys. You must be the running back. Yeah, I heard you were the guy that shows up late. Brandon, nice to meet you, man. But yeah, you guys get to decide what you want to do after this is all said and done. The thing that stinks the most, though, is whenever you realize that you could have done something more, and then you have to reflect back on that and look at it through a lens of regret. Y'all know what regret is? Somebody describe to me what y'all think regret is. Anybody? Nobody knows what regret means? What's regret to you, man?
Knowing I didn't do my hardest.
Yeah, that's right. And the thing that stinks about regret is that there's nothing you can do about it but think about it. Knowing that, man, if I would have just went harder on this one play, or if I would have just not dropped that pass, if I would have done this, if I would have done that. Regret is something that happens in that moment when you realize, dang, I should have done more, and then you actually realize, I can't go back and fix that at all. That's a terrible place to be, guys. I've been there, I'm sure many of you have been there, and really the only thing that I can tell you is, make sure that you're living a life with no regret. For me, obviously, I'm not playing football anymore, and be honest with you, I don't miss having to practice when it's 30 degrees outside. I don't miss getting yelled at by Coach Sims and being slapped in the chest and being told to start the reps over and all that stuff. But in a weird way, I do miss that, because it was those lessons that I learned then that really helped make me the man that I am today. And that's a cool thing, right? Being able to take these lessons of these coaches. And I know it's difficult in the moment. The last thing you want to do is take advice sometimes. But you have to recognize this advice that people give you is because they've been there and they've done that. And they don't want you to make the same mistakes that maybe they made. The reason why I was so excited to come and speak to y'all was because I've made plenty of mistakes in my life. Plenty of them. And I own up for that. But y'all are in a unique position, man. Y'all are, for many of y'all who are seniors, y'all are getting ready to graduate from high school. I hope you go to college. If you don't go to college, I hope you go out and you get a good job. I hope you, are successful and you get to really create a legacy for yourself, whether that's through going out and doing amazing things for the world or having a family or whatever that means for you. But you get to decide what that means for you. I'll leave you guys with this. The last thing that you're going to want to do is wake up on Saturday knowing that you didn't do everything you could on Friday night to beat the Broncos. Guys, the Broncos. I mean, when I was in Midland High, if there was one team that we were not going to lose to, it was the Odessa High Broncos. That was we just weren't going to let that happen. But in order for us to get to that place, And the funny thing about it is my senior year, we almost lost to the Odessa High Broncos because of me. Because I fumbled when I shouldn't have. I screwed up. And luckily a guy named TJ London, the last suspected guy who I thought was going to pull through and save us, he saved us. And it was an amazing feeling because that meant that I didn't have to regret costing us the game. So tomorrow night, y'all are all going to have an important decision to make. And that is, what are y'all going to do for each other to make sure that each of you are put in a position where none of y'all have to regret losing a game at the very end of your season, when for a lot of you, it's going to be the last time that you ever get to put on cleats and shoulder pads and a helmet again. I don't know about you guys, but I love football. It was very much a family for me. And I hope it's a family for y'all. I mean, now I recognize everybody kind of has their cliques and everybody hangs out with certain people. But at the end of the day, when you step out on that field and you put on a football jersey and you put on a number, you know, one thing that y'all have in common is it says MHS on the front, and you have an M on the side of your helmet. You're Bulldogs. That's what you guys are. Y'all are a unit and you're a team. And y'all gotta make sure that you're doing everything that you possibly can to look out for the next guy, the guy standing right next to you right here at the tables, and making sure that you're not letting each other down. Because if you don't do that, and you go out there on Friday night, I guarantee you, that's how Broncos, they're having this exact same conversation. Nobody wants to go out and lose the last game of the season, especially if you're a senior. So I'm going to ask you guys to make me a promise. Because y'all don't even, many of y'all don't know me, and I don't know many of y'all, but I care a lot about you guys, because I know exactly the position that you're in right now. I want y'all to make me a promise. Actually, this is going to be fun. I'm going to do a repeat after me. Can we do that? All right, repeat after me. Tomorrow night, I'm going to do everything that I possibly can. To fight as hard as I can possibly fight. For each man standing to my left. And each man standing to my right. I didn't mean to rhyme that. I swear to you, I didn't mean to rhyme that, but it just worked out that way. That was kind of cool. And we're gonna win tomorrow night. Because when we step out on the field, we're going to do everything we possibly can to kick the Broncos right in the butt. In the can. Yeah. No, you guys have a unique opportunity tomorrow, because tomorrow night you get to go out and you get to be remembered exactly how you want to be remembered. There's nobody that has control over that than you guys, all right? You have one thing you got to do, and that's to go out and dominate. The only way you're going to dominate is if you go out there with a mindset that whoever's in front of you, if you're on offense, defense, it doesn't matter. You're going to go out and you're going to bust them right in the mouth, and there's not going to be a single person that you're going to let beat you on the gridiron. That's the mentality you have to have. This guy, I can tell he's listening to me. Some of y'all look around and like, man, I don't know if these guys are listening to me. Bust them in the mouth. Because I guarantee you, they're going to come at you guys. Nobody wants to lose the last game of the season. And I know y'all don't want to lose the last game of the season, because I know that you don't want to have to regret sitting around that shoe, and I guarantee you some of y'all who didn't think you were ever going to be crying, you're going to be crying. Boo-hoos and sad songs and, you know, trying to relive all these fond memories that y'all were able to create as a team. And you just got to go out there and you got to get it done. I'm going to be at that game. I hope to see y'all dominate. Regardless of what position you are, the kicker, where's the kicker? Yeah, man. Yeah. You better, every field goal, every extra point, you better nail it. Put pressure on you, man. All right? But pressure's nothing when you know you've done everything. I was talking to the table back there a minute ago, and we were talking about this saying that I used to hear whenever I was in high school. And the saying is, if you stay ready, you've never got to get ready. Have y'all heard that before? Y'all think y'all are ready for tomorrow? Y'all did everything you could possibly do during the week to get ready for tomorrow. All right, then y'all have nothing to worry about. Y'all go out and dominate. And just know too, I mean, I you know, whenever I was in Middle High, I was in it was a blessing, because the coaches that I had, they weren't only just coaches to me on the field, they were also coaches to me off the field, which was almost equally as important. You know, I was going through a tough time, and I was trying to figure out all this stuff, and you know, I needed someone who I could trust to confide in, and that I knew was going to give me direction. So lean on your coaches in that way. Shoot, lean on me in that way. I'm accessible. I live here. Anybody who ever wants to reach out to me for some sage advice, I don't know what I'm gonna tell you other than stay, you know, if you stay ready, you never gotta get ready, but, no, I'm here to help, I seriously am. I believe in each and every one of you guys. I think that y'all are gonna go out there and handle things tomorrow. Because I know for a fact that nobody in this room wants to wake up on Saturday with that feeling of regret. So do y'all still do the dogs in the house thing, Coach? What's the, God, see, that's when you know you're old. Well, whatever your chance is, man, I wish I knew it, but that's okay.
Hey, here, let's do it. Let's do it. Bulldogs game.
Bulldogs win!
Bulldogs game.
Bulldogs win!
Woo! I like it. That's much better than the one we used to do. Much simpler, too. Anyway, I wish y'all the best of luck. I'll be cheering for y'all. I'm going to stick around if anybody has any questions. Does anybody have any questions of me while I'm up here? Anybody at all? No? Oh, y'all got it all figured out, huh? All right. Well, if you do have any questions, don't feel awkward approaching me. I'm a very honest person. I'm happy to chat with any one of y'all. Even if you're the running back sitting at the table by himself, who might need a little bit of advice on how to, I'm kidding, man. But I gotta give you a hard time. Anyway, good luck to you guys. It's a pleasure to be here. Go Dogs.